This is John Kvale, and I will save you the pain of a picture. I might slip one in for those, a quick one for those that are watching the video, that after 15 hours of tennis the past 2 days, it's pretty brutal. But guess what? Here is our April 2017 review, and April docks the high point of tax season. I wanted to go back over a few items that we talked about. So here's the post. Here's a detailed post on AMT, but the high points of the post that was during April. The reason that we did this is we just kept running into AMT and AMT questions, and it just seemed to be getting a lot more people this year than it has in the past. Hold on there just a moment, too, because we got a little bit of an update on that. But AMT basically affects folks between 170 and 313 jointly and over 100. Here's the link to the article, as I mentioned, but as I said, there's not a lot you can do about it. You can defer your income, or you can accelerate your income to try and stay under or over this, or adjust. Now, moving on, another tax-related item that I mentioned near the end of the month, and that was major tax reform. Okay, here's a good link to the White House version of the tax reform that was announced. It was very high level. Here's a link from Barron's. I've done a lot of research, and I just really haven't found a good analysis. Here's the thing. People either love it or they hate it. There's no in between, and I really want to know what the possibilities are and what it is. And so here's our article on tax reform. Okay, so in this White House thing, back to AMT, in this White House announcement, they said that they are going to try and get rid of AMT. It's really a hassle, an alternative, the prior, what we mentioned here a second ago, this alternative minimum tax. Basically, it was not even set up to catch people that it's catching now. And so maybe as an update, it might be interesting to follow. It will be interesting to follow, and maybe AMT won't even be around. But here's 3 good sources for the possible tax reform. We're keeping our eye on this, and we hope that they don't hit us with a December 15th reversion all the way back to the end of the year, or the beginning of the year, because we won't have time to plan. So right now, all of this is just talk. We're keeping our eye on it, but it was tax month. I think I'm going to rename April tax month. It's not going to be April, it's tax month. Maybe we'll do that next year. Okay, and one more item on the taxes is overfunding your 401k. There's a couple of different ways that it can occur, and I talk about it in this article. And this is the hot link to this article. But basically, what you want to do is you want to refund the money if you can, if you overfund, apply the extra funds. So let's say your 401k, you can only put $18,000 in your 401k, and you put 19. Essentially what happens is you're double taxed on that extra $1,000. So if it's a small amount, if it's maybe you put $18,100 or $18,010, it's probably not worth worrying about. If you put $30,000, then it's worth worrying about. You probably want to back that extra out. And I go into it here in the overfunding the 401k post, and we'll link that as a reminder in the future. Okay, say goodbye to April tax month. We're gonna move on to some really interesting items here. So this is Factset. This is from Factset, and these are earnings, and this is not earnings. This is the negative earnings, I guess. So it's like contraction. But here's what's interesting about this: the dark line is actual, and this line is what the estimates were at the time. So right now we're here. This is today, and the estimates are here. And once all the earnings have been released, then we'll see this. There'll be a black line that comes up. This is the first over. Look at this growth rate. This is a growth rate. This is Q2 of 2014. Q3 of 2014. These are pretty good growth rates. This thing is approaching 10%. This is double digit. So they released a report late in the month that said this is the first time since 2011 that we could potentially have double digit earnings growth. This is good. Here's the key reason that this is important. The key reason is that earnings are the ultimate driver of the capital markets. Now we can talk about whether the capital markets have already anticipated this, and we've talked about the PE multiple and what the valuation of the capital markets are. A subject for another discussion, but this is good. This is really a good trajectory. It's going to be interesting to look back and see if this was like a mild recession that we went through, and not recession, maybe slowdown, and does it get counted as a little bit of a recession? Either way, capital markets are happy. This is a really good. This is a really good thing to see. Executives being able to expand their earnings as we move forward. So that's it for our April. That's kind of an April look back, and then that earnings was a little bit moving forward because earnings are pouring in right now. But hope you enjoyed it. And we talk again. We changed this, as I mentioned. We changed this true podcast, this true audio video to an audio podcast. So I talk a little bit more. It makes it a little bit longer, but I've got a lot of good feedback from people. They're jogging, they're on the treadmill, they're listening. And so you can turn the video off if you want. You'll miss the ugly picture of us, my daughter and I. But it'll be a real quickie of what we look like after 15 hours of tennis. But thank you in advance. We appreciate you watching our video, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow is May 1st, and here we go. Thanks so much.